Hello everyone, Gina Logrande here. With all these presentations, I feel like I'm ready to start traveling on a TED Talk circuit. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time to view my presentation. This one is on aspirin and the arachidonic acid cascade. I hope you enjoy it and find it informative. Aspirin is classified as a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, also known as an NSAID. It acts as an acetylating agent where an acetyl group is covalently attached to a serine residue in the active site of the cyclooxygenase COX enzyme. How does it work? Aspirin suppresses the production of prostaglandins and thromboxanes by irreversibly inactivating the enzyme cyclooxygenase required for their synthesis. Aspirin has several different effects in the body, mainly the reduction of inflammation, relief of pain, the prevention of clotting, and the reduction of fever. Aspirin's effects and respective mechanisms of actions are dose-dependent. At low doses, aspirin will acetylate serine 529, a cyclooxygenase, which we will discuss in more detail shortly. This irreversible effect inhibits platelet generation of thromboxane A2, preventing platelet aggregation. At intermediate doses, both COX-1 and COX-2 are inhibited, blocking prostaglandin production and producing both analgesic and antipyretic effects. Prostaglandins and related compounds, collectively referred to as prostanoids or eicosanoids, such as prostacyclin, leukotrienes, and thromboxanes, are produced by many different cells in the body. Prostanoids are fatty acid compounds derived from membrane phospholipids. When these phospholipids are acted upon by phospholipase A2, arachidonic acid is formed. Lipids play a substantial role in cell signaling. Many of the lipids involved as second messengers in cell signaling pathways arise from the arachidonic acid pathway. What is arachidonic acid? An important family of regulatory molecules is derived from arachidonic acid, which is a carboxylic acid with a 20-carbon chain and 4 cis double bonds. The first double bond is located at the 6th carbon from the omega end. These regulatory molecules collectively are often called the eicosanoids. They are synthesized by most tissues and have an incredibly wide range of actions. However, many of the most important are linked to defense against damage and pathogens. They are encountered primarily in the areas of inflammation and hemostasis. Arachidonic acid is freed from a phospholipid molecule by the enzyme phospholipase A2, which cleaves off the fatty acid but can be also generated from DAD by diaglycerol lipase. Arachidonic acid generated for signaling purposes appears to be derived by the action of group IVA cytosolic phospholipase A2, whereas inflammatory arachidonic acid is generated by the action of a low molecular weight secretory PLA2. Arachidonic acid is the precursor that is metabolized by various enzymes to a wide range of biologically and clinically important eicosanoids and metabolites of these eicosanoids. The enzymes cyclooxygenase 1 and 2 metabolize arachidonic acid to prostaglandin G2 and prostaglandin H2, which in turn may be converted to various prostaglandins, prostacyclin, thromboxanes, and to the 17-carbon product of thromboxane metabolism of prostaglandin G2H2, known as 12-hydroxyheptadecatrienoic acid. The enzyme 5-lipoxygenase metabolizes arachidonic acid to 5-hydroperoxyeicositetraenoic acid, 5-PEA, which in turn is metabolized to various leukotrienes, leukotriene B4, leukotriene C4, D4, and E4, as well as to 5-hydroxyeicositetraenoic acid, 5-HEAT, which may then be further metabolized to 5-HEAT's more potent 5-keto analog, 5-oxoeicositetraenoic acid, 5-OXO-EAT. The enzymes 15-lipoxygenase 1, ALOX15, and 15-lipoxygenase 2, ALOX15B, metabolize arachidonic acid to 15-hydroperoxyeicosatetraenoic acid, 15-HP, which may also then be further metabolized to 15-hydroxyeicosatetraenoic acid, 15-heat, and lipoxins. 15-lipoxygenase 1 may also further metabolize 15-HP to eoxins in a pathway analogous to and presumably using the same enzymes as used in the pathway which metabolizes 5-HP to leukotrienes. The enzyme 12-lipoxygenase ALOX12 metabolizes arachidonic acid to 12-hydroperoxyeicosatetraenoic acid, 12-HP, which may then be metabolized to 12-hydroxyeicosatetraenoic acid, 12-heat, and to hypoxylins. Some arachidonic acid is converted into hydroxyeicosatetraenoic acid, heats, and epoxyeicosatrienoic acid, eats, by epoxygenase. As discussed earlier, aspirin is an inhibitor of cyclooxygenase. However, there are several variants of the enzyme. COX-1 is found widely in the body and tends to be expressed constantly as a normal part of the functioning. It is especially common in the digestive tract. Notably in the stomach, it produces prostaglandins that inhibit the secretions of the stomach. It is important to understand that when COX-1 is blocked, the stomach will secrete more acid, which is why aspirin has been known to cause ulcers and stomach bleeding events. COX-2, however, is released mainly by special inflammatory cells, and its expression is induced by molecules such as various inflammatory paracrines. Glucocorticoids, which are often used as powerful anti-inflammatory drugs, repress the expression of COX-2. Aspirin is interesting in that it covalently and irreversibly modifies COX. Therefore, new enzyme must be synthesized to replace what has been blocked. This is why relatively small amounts of aspirin affect platelets for more than a day. As aspirin is being absorbed, platelets moving through the intestines have their COX permanently blocked. Since platelets lack a nucleus, new COX forms only with the synthesis of new platelets. In summary, when we recognize that prostaglandins induce inflammation, pain, and fever, and we look at the metabolism of arachidonic acid, we can understand how aspirin affects this cascade. As we discussed, aspirin blocks both COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes, which are involved with the ring closure and addition of oxygen to arachidonic acid converting to prostaglandins. The acetyl group on aspirin is hydrolyzed and then bonded to the alcohol group of serine as an ester. This has the effect of blocking the channel in the enzyme, and arachidonic acid cannot enter the active site of the enzyme. By inhibiting this enzyme, the synthesis of prostaglandins is blocked, which in turn relieves some of the pain and fever. Because of its impact on thromboxanes, platelet aggregation is also inhibited. However, as mentioned earlier, an unwanted side effect of COX-1 inhibition is an increase in stomach acid, which could cause gastric bleeding, further complicated by aspirin's inhibition of platelets. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I look forward to yours as well.